really want to thank everybody for being here today to support one of our favorite and most beloved parks. And I'm going to venture to say that everybody here, or most of us here, um, have history with Los Altos Park. I know I certainly do. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about that and about the funding and about some of the projects. We have some really good speakers here to get through. But first of all, I really want to acknowledge some of the folks that we have here. We have Senator Mimi Stewart. Thank you, Senator. We have Representative Liz Thompson. She was here just a second ago. There she is. We also have Councilor Winter. Thank you, Councilor, for being here, and his policy analyst, Don Marie. So who have I forgotten? Who am I going to be embarrassed for?
All of us.
And then all of us, all of you guys. The Garden Center is
Right.
here. We have softball players and organizers here, and certainly the BMX riders here. Press, everybody. Thank you all for being here. So, like I said, actually started a little bit out of sequence here. I've been in Albuquerque since when?
Ever.
Practically 79. So I guess I was 9 years old. I've been here since 1979. I remember first time coming to this park to watch women's fast pitch here. My friends and I, every year that. For several years, and it was just something to really look forward to. It was kind of like Easter and 4th of July. It was a holiday. And I know that you people, almost all of you, have stories like that to tell. This is like an old friend that we've known for a lot of years and has known us, all of our great traits and our picadillos as well. So. Whether you've played softball here or watched softball, if you learned to swim over here in the swimming pool, or your kids have attended any of the events at the garden park, which is, I think, that and the pool may be the longest residence at the park. I'll bet they can tell me here.
75.
Since 1975. This park has given us some good times and some great memories. It's been popular for so long. Over the years, though, it's shown some wear and tear. And actually, for the last 6 years, I've been trying to put something like this together, trying to put funding together for this. We've had a master plan for this park for some time. As you know, we redid the pool building, and that changed the master plan because we didn't have to build a new swimming pool. There's nothing wrong with that swimming pool. So we had the plan reworked. Stop it back again. So we had the plan reworked, and that's what we're looking at today. Let's see, kind of lost my place here. So now the pool is done. We opened that up earlier this spring. That was a challenge, but with the help of the other counselors on City Council, with the mayor's office, Parks and Rec, we were able to finish that pool, and that was a challenge, a financial challenge, but we got it done. So now we're looking at the park. Like I say, we do have a master plan, and this master plan covers several projects in the park. The BMX pump track will start at the very western edge, the point where I-40 and Lomas meet. It'll be over there. You can see it here on the drawing, and then all the way extending back to Eubank. So what we're looking at doing is renovating the softball diamonds. We're going to add a 5th new field, and with that, we will be able to welcome visitors from out of state, just like it used to be Years ago, you could drive down Lomas and look over here and you'd see full softball diamonds. We're going to make that happen again. And there's a gentleman here, Mr. Shoemaker, who's going to talk more about that much better than I will be able to. Uh, we're sensitive also to the security needs of this park. This is a really important thing. We want to be able to adequately fence off the baseball diamonds to protect them, and add fencing in other places around the park. Um, so, um, so this is the time to do it. This is a time for all of us, the city of Albuquerque, all of you with your support to make this commitment to renovating the park. That brings tourism industry. I should have started off with that. Brings the tourism industry into the park, sports tourism, which is huge. It's a huge thing. I was looking at some numbers last night, and the Parks and Rec department say on average we get 40,000 not visitors, spectators. That means players and their families a year here in Albuquerque. They estimate that about half of those are from out of town, so that's 20,000. If we figure that they spend typically 2 nights here and multiply $50 a day for those 20,000, we're getting what is that? $2 million. $2 million a year from that industry. That doesn't sound right. It's more than that. Anyway, there's a lot of money we're looking at, and we're going to add to that with what's coming in here. So this park has been sliding down, withering a little bit for the past 10 years. Our opportunity and the challenge is now for us to do this. I'm going to introduce a few people, and then I'll come back on them and talk about the money a little bit. But to put it all in perspective, I really think that it's really important for you to hear from a gentleman named Kelvin Davis. He is our hometown BMX hero, and that is not an overstatement. He has really an impressive history of both riding and establishing BMX as a competitive sport here in Albuquerque. So you know what? Google him, because you're going to find some YouTubes that are unbelievable. I watched them this morning early. He's a winner of many national and international competitions over his years in riding BMX. And I can tell you about 2 of those because they are stunning and they make us proud here in Albuquerque. In 2013, Kalvin rode in the World Championship in New Zealand, where he finished 3rd in the world. The following year, he went to New Zealand, or went to the Netherlands, and again, he rose up to the finals, and he came away with 4th. That is truly amazing. I'm very happy to present to you Kelvin Davis.
Sure thing, guys. Thanks for having me today. I rallied up some of my fellow bikers, and the cool thing is I tapped into Instagram, and some of these guys I had never even met before today, and they're just other bikers out here in Albuquerque doing their thing. And really, this bike park is just a great addition to the fabric of the cycling community here in Albuquerque. And it's not just BMX. I like to call this a bike park because it serves mountain bikers, BMX bikers. Really, my favorite ones are the little Strider bikers on their push bikes, little 2, 3, 4-year-olds. This facility is built to serve those riders while also being able to host national and international events. So I would like to suggest you go online and go to pumptrack.com. That'll give you a look into what exactly I'm talking about here. It's a different kind of facility than is over by the Isotope Stadium. That's a BMX racetrack. This is a pump track, which has no jumps on it. It's all rollers, turns, and it's meant for honing your skills in a different way and just really getting kids out here. And the greatest part about this and this whole tourism deal and our park potentially getting this great renovation is that pump tracking is taking off. Okay, I'm telling you, the UCI is the #1 bike organization in the world, UCI hands out the World Championship stripes every year at all the World Championship events, and pump track is now an official discipline of biking. So this is a brand new discipline. It's blowing up all over the world. We've got a chance to get in right now on the ground floor. There's a brand new US National Series starting up next year that'll feed riders up into the World Cup. We already just have such an amazing bike culture here. I mean, if you drive down Tramway on a weekend, think about all the road bikers out there. You know, those are all candidates to bring their kiddos out to try this out when they can't even pedal yet. All the people riding up in the Sandia foothills, you know, all of us out there at Duke City BMX and at all the skate parks and at our lovely Alameda Bike Park. And so this is just a great opportunity. I believe I hit everything I wanted to hit, except for we started an online petition earlier, actually at the end of last week, and we have over almost 700 signatures from Albuquerque, New Mexico, around the country and all around the world saying they support building this here, with all of a laundry list of reasons that they typed in themselves of why they support this. So thanks for letting me share a little bit about it. Please check out pumptrack.com if you're interested in what this looks like, or feel free to catch me after this and I can chat you up. Thanks.
Thank you, Calvin. And next we have a gentleman here who can speak to us about softball in Los Altos Park and in Albuquerque. So, Mr. Shoemaker, if you'd like to come up and tell us your experience and
Sure.
how you think this will impact the city.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Again, obviously, I'm here on behalf of softball. I've been a resident since 1974, so I've got you beat.
Oh.
And actually, my grandfather moved out to Albuquerque in 1916.
Oh.
So, been here a little while. I started playing softball in 1975. Many games being played right at this facility. Last 26 years, I have worked with organizing the Church League as a volunteer with the city of Albuquerque. I've been running softball tournaments here since 1993 and helped raise close to over $100,000 for benefits. I'm super excited that the city is looking at proposing a $10.5 million renovation of this facility, not only for just softball, but for other additional upgrades to the park. Obviously, BMX is being one of those. These renovations could not only make Los Altos a great playground for our residents, but also bring positive economic impact for the city, which the councilman just said. The question is how do you do that? Well, with our awesome summer and fall weather in Albuquerque, we could become a mecca for softball. Just last month, I played in a softball tournament in the Senior World Tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just got an article back that there were 612 teams representing over 7,000 players in about a 2-week span for the tournament. Again, the economic impact of that is huge. So what prevents us from doing the same thing? Well, it's simple. It's our lack of great softball facilities. Our current challenges: small softball complexes, only 1 or 2 or 3 fields. Overall poor and unkept field conditions. Non-standard field dimensions at several facilities, including Los Altos. If you actually look at this field here and you look down the left field line, the sign says 250 feet. The standard softball size now is 300. We're 50 feet short of basically having a standardized field, even on this facility right here. We have inadequate lighting. The lighting has been a challenge. We have no concession area. If you go to any of these major tournaments, they have concessions for fans and players. The bathroom facilities, we're in outhouses. We need to have upkept facilities for, again, players and fans. Our facilities, they keep getting vandalized. We just talked about having fencing around this facility. It's definitely needed because that will limit the vandalism that goes on. And then there's also the safety issues that were mentioned with the challenges that we have in our city in regards to our homeless population. We need the city to get this done. I hope the city council can see what the future holds for this amazing project. And I want to thank you for letting me talk today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
so much. Thank you so much. Great job. So I checked my math. It is $2 million annual, and that's just what we're getting now from out of state or out of towners in this industry. There's a lot of potential for growth. I think we've heard that several times already. There's somebody else I've been talking with or trading email with. Her name is Pat Stanalonis. Are you here, Pat? Hi, Pat. Hi. Did you want to say anything? Well, first of all, let me just say that thank you for doing what you do. She has organized senior women's softball here in Albuquerque for how many years?
Well, we started in 2013.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. So
Oh,
go
of
ahead.
course. Join us.
Sure.
Monday nights.
So, from my perspective, I'm talking about senior softball, and not only for the men, as has been spoken, but for the women. I have sent the city council a list of at least 56 women's softball senior teams in the western region alone. So there is potential for great tournaments here, and it will feed the economy just as the national games did, which is a big deal for me. So I am totally in support. I like the centralization of the softball fields, but I'm very excited for these guys and the young people that they're talking about too, that will be able to utilize the park as well. So I hope we get a lot of support for that.
Thank you. We have one last speaker that I would like to bring up, who can talk to us about the garden club, and another longtime resident, not only of the park here, but of Albuquerque, and so much that has gone on there. So if you'd like to come up, Shirley Tetro.
Thank you.
In 1975, we opened the doors to the Albuquerque Garden Center. We borrowed $60,000 from the city, and we raised $60,000. We paid that back in 6 months, and we've never looked back. We run it by ourselves with our volunteers. We have educational programs and teaching people how to grow vegetables and learning how to garden, because everybody knows that that's a very, very important thing. And we're really honored to be a part of this new renovation and be on board and support everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to take a minute and talk about the funding of this. Early in September, the Mayor Keller released his proposal for uses for announced the proposal for the bond issue, proposed bond issue for lodgers tax, backed by lodgers taxes. And I have a copy of that here now. It's long. I'm not going to read it to you, but it does include $10.5 million for this park, for Los Altos Park renovation, and to do all of the many things that we're talking about. The original estimate, after we worked the master plan, when we moved the pool and then reworked the master plan, was for almost $12 million. So $10.5 million is, that cuts us pretty deep. It has since been reworked, again, to cut it even more to 10.1. So there are certain things we can't live without. We're going to do this, and it will very likely require additional funding, which I and my office are quite willing to work on getting, work for ways for making up that gap. So, and one other thing that we kind of touched on a little bit, and then I'm going to stop talking, take whatever questions. But the one thing that has come up is, what is an appropriate use for these lodger taxes? And that was actually the first question that I had on council, and I was assured that these were bona fide, defendable uses for the lodgers tax. But recently, I also have been informed that lodger's tax means tourism, not just tourism, but overnight tourism, lodger's taxes. So whatever we put this bond money towards should generate more overnight stays. This, I think we've shown you, is going to do this in several different ways. So any questions that we can field? We'll take just a few questions.